Howdy, back at it again. Today's video is going to be match analysis focused on beating patient players. That was the request. If you would like to request match analysis, I will have a link to a Google form that you can fill out in the description of this video. I try to get to everybody. It might take a while. I'm a teacher, so school's starting again pretty soon. So I don't have, quite as much time as I do during the summer to make videos and all that, but I promise I will try to get to everybody. Maybe live streams on the weekends or something. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet, but I will get to it, I promise. That being said, if you do like this type of content, if you want to see more of it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow to near 2. I'd really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get into things. So, 1600s player, again, I would say this is a similar skill level to where I'm at right now. You said 1800s where you got in the past, it's like the highest you've been. But 1600-ish is kind of where I'm at, so don't expect me to, have any like sage wisdom. It's just kind of be like, okay, this is stuff that I see. My eyes are maybe better than my hands. Let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, 99-second special moves. Not a big fan of them. You have a trap off this, right? You charge Gladius and it hits. Yeah, this is the second time I've watched it, not the first, so I do kind of know how it goes a little bit. I don't hate this. It works a ton in this set, to be honest. The only thing is, again, 99-second special moves is like, what does that quadriga lose to, and what does it beat? Well, it lets you set up this, right? But it's going to beat just walk forward, quick button. It's going to beat, jump, which Cammy's kind of like to do, right? The whole dive kick thing, it's going to work. It's going to lose to kind of just like walk back a little bit and whiff punish. And if they're trying to play outside of Gladius range, that'll probably whiff too. So it's kind of like, well, it sort of hurts you a lot more often than it's going to help you, I think. Not in this set, but it is what it is, right? Okay, this first round is going to look really good. Don't really have a ton to say about that. Play nice and patient in the corner. Again, you're one of those players. There's two types of players, You whiff something and you block, or you whiff something and you just mash a button. You're definitely the whiff something and mash a button type. I'm not, so I have to, kind of get that through my head. That's like, this is valid, but that's neither here nor there. Here it gets you kind of bopped because you just kind of misjudge your spacing. That's the thing. When you're doing it with a move like Gladius, we're like, okay, if they push, it'll hit them, and it's got a really big hitbox and whatever. But then you whiff Heavy Gladius, which is 41 frames, and you push Stand Heavy Punch, which is like 44 frames or something, 45 frames, I think. So you lose, like, they've got like a second and a half to be like, whiff punish. Big surprise they do, right? So, like, strength of it is, hey, yeah, you can definitely catch some stuff, right? Weakness of that mindset is like, okay, if you misjudge your spacing or you're doing it with a big old button, you give them a ton of time to whiff if the second thing whiffs too. Okay. So I'm not going over a ton of patient player now just because there hasn't been like a lot of neutral so far in this set. I promise that changes a little bit. So here Cammy's playing a little aggressively. So this is one of those things where if we go way back to the start, in my last video on neutral, I talked about there's a couple different ways to beat Gladius. And one of them is how Cammy starts this, which is walking back and staying out of the range. Now she gets bopped because, you trick her. And then we don't really have any neutral left, right? So now we don't really have any neutral until we get out of the corner. This still isn't really neutral, right? Because Cammy's cornered and it's just a bad spot. And then you get thrown. And here we go. Okay. Now we're neutral again, right? So what's Cammy going to do? Is Cammy going to try to stay at this range, right? Or is she going to walk forward? Okay, so Cammy's walking forward. So what do we want to do against people that are walking forward? Well, we want to either try to bait and punish a whiff, right? Just walk back, react, whiff punish. Throw a Stand Heavy Kick if we're thinking she's going to push lows, right? If she's going to mid poke, we should just do Gladius some more. Right? Or we want to do like crouch medium punch, buffer, stand medium punch, buffer the target combo, stuff like that. Okay? So it's like here, yeah, she's just going to walk in and try to push some buttons. I do like the Stand Heavy Kick. Again, she's close. Push crouch medium punch here, right? Check the forward movement a little bit. But also that's nice, right? You realize like, wait a second, she's in Gladius range. She's in Gladius range. I'll just do Gladius. Fantastic. And boom, we hit the Oki, and we're okie dokie. Don't hate me for that pun, okay? Don't hate it. Okay, so again, what did she do last time at the start? Walked back, try to stay out of range. What are we going to do here? Okay, again, with the 99, 98 second quadriga, again, it hits. Just make sure you're doing it intentionally, right? That's all I guess I'm trying to say is like, make sure it's not just a bad habit where you're like, oh, that's distance, quadriga. Like, make sure that it's like you're thinking about what happens if it hits, what happens if it doesn't hit, right? I like that. You see what I mean? And here the quadriga gets you hit into Oki. That's the spot where you do have to make a guess eventually. But I think with 90 seconds left, up around, just take the throw, right? Like, just take the throw. Now you're in the corner. All because why? I mean, not all because, right? Like, you made a bad decision on defense or, you know, it's bad tech, whatever. But you tried to approach with that quadriga again, and it got stuffed. That's something else I will say. A couple sets that we're not going to end up watching here is you like this OD Gladius on defense a lot. That's just something, again, I'm going to say. Make sure you're doing it intentionally. Like, you're thinking about, okay, where's my drive gauge at and whatever. Like, don't let it become a habit. That's what I'm saying. Like, always make it a decision, not a reflex. Okay, taking the throw. That's fine. Block. Doing Gladius. I like that. Okay, trying to perfect parry. This is something that, doing the drive rush here, I get, you're like, okay, I'm locked in place with this parry for a long time. Which is maybe just like a, hey, don't push the parry then. Right? Like, this isn't season 1 anymore. Like, this is going to be a big deal. Because you whiff, like, again, like a 45 frame move or something. And now you're holding parry, and you're going to drive rush into stand medium punch. Fastest that comes out is frame 18. So, like, again, you just sort of put yourself in this spot where they've got like a full second to be like, oh, shoot, I should push a button. And guess what? They do. She spends it, doesn't kill, but it doesn't really matter that much. Okay. Here we are. Punish it. Okay. So, I do want to show a clip here, because you definitely could get more damage. You definitely could have killed here. We'll insert the clip. But if you do drive rush cancel off of this, that's always optimal. Right? But there's a couple different routes you could have gone for here that would have been much better. That would have done quite a lot more damage and definitely would have killed, and you would have won the game. And then you dash, you get chipped. Is what it is. But that's kind of the thing where if you know you're gonna cash out when you land the medium punch, you have to go into drive rush cancel, back heavy punch, OD quad. You have to. It does so much more damage. Okay, so now again, Cammy's playing a little more aggressive here, right? She's still playing patiently in some respects, but she's playing a little more aggressive. Right? Where she's not just like drive rushing and jumping and trying to get in your face. She's trying to make you whiff and punish your strategy. Good tech. Again, drive rush after throw tech. Okay. Again, just make sure it's not a habit. Right? Like, make sure it's okay, I'm doing this because, not just attack to throw, time to drive rush and get back in. Now, the other thing is against Cammy, you never need to do OD Gladius here. You're just making the gap bigger. Her OD DP doesn't beat Light Gladius, so you're just giving them more time to react. You don't need to spend OD there, unless you're, I mean, you don't need to. The whiff punish. So that's something that I'm talking about. Now, the thing is, right, if they're trying to play aggressive, where it's like, okay, you want a Gladius, I'm going to push her low. Okay, she walks back, then she walks up, you take a step back, get in the perfect range, whiff punish it. It's perfect. Right? It's perfect. That's the season 1 combo. I'm going to put that clip in here because I talked about that too. So you can also do a different route here. So corner route and this route should be a little bit different in my opinion. Well, corner route should definitely be a little bit different. This one's maybe more of a preference thing, but I'll leave that here.
So a couple things to look at. First off, corner combo. You did something like this. 3,300. It's okay, but nowhere near as much. If you know you're going to cash out, should drivers cancel back heavy punch into OD quad. And you see that adds like 600 damage. So it's a pretty big deal, and you only need like 4 bars to do it, right? Really just to tick over 3, and you can do that combo, and it does a lot more damage and definitely would have killed in your match. And the other thing I want to talk about is the OD Demo route. So you want to route into towards heavy kick target combo as much as you can. So the season 1 combo is this: 31-22, 38 frame advantage on Oki. It's not bad, good corner carry. The combo that I think you generally want to do now is this jump medium punch after the target combo. Loses what, 29 damage, you know, and 4 frames advantage, but you're a lot closer. So what's really nice about this is you can walk up and force strike, throw, command grab, whatever. More detail on that is in my Season 2 Oki guide, so check it out if you care. And if you're really just interested in damage, finishing up with like Gladius does more damage, almost 100 more damage. So that's the Season 2 route. You generally want to route into the towards heavy kick target combo as much as can. Anyway, back to the analysis.
Did that just not give you throw or what? Or you just did it late? You do towards heavy kick there as well. She hasn't really shown you that she's been going to be super DP happy, so I think you could stand to be a little more aggressive on Oki. Again, that's part of that's just a play style. Like, I'm a very aggressive Oki player, so I like to, you know, give that as advice. You don't have to take it, but I think against players that haven't really shown you they want to DP, I think you're just making life harder on yourself. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, driver Oki. Like, just do towards heavy kick into Gladius. Deals drive damage, and if you probably, I mean, she's gonna block it, right? Like, again, she hasn't really shown that she likes to reversal a lot, so. Yeah. And I don't hate the idea of doing a reversal here, but I don't think level 1 is it. I know you don't really have anything else to go for, but she hasn't really done a ton of meaty pressure on you, right? That isn't like a setup for like a meaty crouch heavy punch or whatever. So I would err on the side of, do I think she's going to throw me? Then I'll jump. Because even if you hit a jab or medium or whatever here, you're still kind of in a bad spot. Doesn't really help that much. And if she blocks, you lose. So. We're going to take a look at game number 2. So, game 2, last game, the end of it, she was playing a lot more like walk up, try to push buttons. So, I'm thinking, hey, let's think about what buffers we can push. Let's think about trying to maybe step back and whiff punish a little bit, right? Or if it turns out she's not throwing like lows, right, then maybe let's just keep pressing Gladius if you want to step at our face. Okay, so that's not a low, right? She's poking with crouch medium punch. That's not a low. You can probably just hit Gladius on that. Again, there, you see the issue with doing this quadriga? It's worked for you a couple times, and it's gotten you cornered a couple times. Okay. Not sure if that was intentional or you just did the wrong thing. Okay. Now she's walking back. Generally, you don't want to do a ton of Gladius when people are walking away from you. You know what I mean? Like, if you see them walking away, it's generally not a great idea, but you didn't punish it there. For the corner carry. I like that. That's a good check. Right, because that's the thing, okay? This is like, now she wants to walk at you. Let's just push. Right? Okay, again, that. Now here that, you know, quadriga works for you. You do quad, into Gladius, and it works for you. Okay, here if you just hit back heavy punch right away, it was uninterruptible. Because that drive rush, back heavy punch, I was +8. So if you just do drive rush, charge back fierce, and then back fierce again after the burnout into DI, she couldn't have escaped it. So you didn't even have to like make the crouch medium punch whiff, but it is what it is. Okay, that's fine. Again, this is good. The Gladiator is good because she's playing in that range and she's really not pressing a lot of lows. Okay, got buttoned. That's fine. Got hit by jab. And that's why doing that's really kind of scary, right? Because, like, if I think that, okay, like, what does this really beat? Like, I guess maybe if they're super close, you can maybe command grab the shimmy. Like, maybe if they walk slow. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't tried it. But if I'm reading meaty, man, I'm just going for perfect parry. Because I'm only losing 2 bars of drive gauge instead of 3. I mean, this costs you 3 bars. 2 for doing it. And another one for getting grab. That costs you 3 bars of drive to not work. And if it would have, like, okay, say she would have gone for a jab or something. Okay, you're +2 or 3 or whatever, right? And like she's eating like 400 damage or something. She's like, it's basically like she got jabbed, and you get a 50-50. It's crap. Just go for the perfect parry. It's like not any more dangerous, you know. At least that's my 2 cents. Okay. Again, you like this a lot. You like doing whiff in the Gladius. I don't think it's bad, but that can't be the only way you're going to try to open people up, right? The thing is, you should try to get in the range where Gladius will just about hit, and then that's when you pick your Superman punch, your drive rush, jab, right? You just walk up 6 HK. That's when you kind of pick that. When they show, hey, I'm not really interested in being proactive. I just want to react to what you're doing. Now, granted, stuff like this is a way, right? Like, you're forcing a reaction. You did something, and then she goes, oh, I have to react. Right? So you get something out of it. I'm going to say this. Usually, I think it's worth it to do driver stand heavy punch for the +2 setup after a throw, especially if you have some drive gauge left. Especially if you're going to meaty anyway, right? Because it's not like, oh, I'm going to forward dash, and then, you know, like that'll bait the DP or something. Like, you still went for a meaty, and it just got you, you know, punished or whatever. Now, maybe, again, maybe you're delaying it to try to block the DP and still get something. Clearly, you didn't delay it, you know, you delayed it too much or whatever, or that's just a good option against what you did. But you're in a pretty good spot here, I think. You have full meter. Life's about even. Drive's about even. She doesn't have any CA, right? So, like, you get one hit, right? If you burn her out, you win, okay? You get any hit, you're putting her in the corner, and she's going to be pretty much dead, right? Just sort of look at it. Boom, okay. Sick. I'd probably bait DP here. I don't know if you do. I don't remember, but I'd probably bait DP here, right? Because, like, if you block it, you win. If you bait it and she doesn't go for it, yeah, I think that's the right decision. I think that's a decent decision. Now just play patient. Look at all this time on the clock. You're up in life. There's 78 seconds left. You got the super gauge. You can try to react to something with super if she wants to drive rush in it. You know what I mean? You can try to react with level 3 or level 2 or whatever. Instead, you go for this tactic, and it doesn't work this time. So, again, this is where it's like tactics like that are good, but you can't just do this all the time or you're going to get figured out. And she could have got a much better punch. And all of a sudden, she's got the screen positioning. And you got to eat her Oki. Right? Not sure what you were jabbing there. It happens. Right? You thought she was going to keep walking up to try to throw you again or something. But the main thing, again, is working on identifying what they're looking for. I think that's kind of your biggest thing. Right now, you're not giving yourself a chance to identify because you're like, oh, they're back there. I'm going to whiff and then charge Gladius. Or I'm going to whiff a Gladius and then throw Heavy Punch. Right? Like, you're just like, okay, I've got this tactic. I'm going to force a reaction. And it's going to work. And when it works, you get 30% or whatever from the charge Gladius or whiff punish. And it's really strong and it's rewarding, right? But if they don't bite, you get whiff punished because you're giving them, a huge chance to do so. So it's one of those things where work in the tactics. I think you do them a little too much. I guess that's what I would say. On to the next set.
So next set we're looking at is against an Akuma. A little bit different environment, obviously a little bit different matchup. Once again, round start special move. Not necessarily something that I think we should be doing all the time. Because again, it's gonna beat some stuff, it's gonna lose some stuff. Doesn't get you whiff punish there, but easily could have. Okay, so what I'm noticing right now is he's not really playing around Gladius, right? Like, you look at this, you're like, okay, he's playing pretty close here. Heavy Gladius, certainly charged heavy Gladius. He's not going to get out of the way of. He's kind of playing this close game fireball thing. Throwing out like Gladius, probably a decent idea. And there it is too, right? Gladius would have been a great option against that stand heavy kick. So far it feels like he's not really playing around with that much. But he adapts his playstyle really quickly, right? So here's the thing. In the corner, we love to do this. Marisa players love to do this, right? Because again, a lot of times people want to stand right underneath that timer. Right, and then charging heavy Gladius is a really good option because it's going to be walk forward, it's going to be button, it's going to be fireball, right? It's going to be a lot of stuff that people like to do. But because we, as a collective, like to do it so much, people know that, and they just back up. And they're like, I'm just going to wait for you to whiff it because you're going to whiff it. And you do, right? Got some space, good. That's the other thing. Okay, so there he's clearly looking for that. I think he's really looking for two things here, right? I think he's really looking for Gladius and jump. That's what I think he's looking for. Now, he gets the Superman punch with the DP, but I think those are the main things that he's looking for right now. See, there he's a little bit closer. Now he is under the timer. He's just kind of shimmying back and forth, not really thinking, so you get him with it. The DP and the throw tech, which is good. I'm just trying to think who we've killed here. No, not with level 1 only. Maybe in the corner, but definitely not mid-screen. That's a pretty big gamble if he jumps, but I like it. Sometimes you gotta bet. We're going to see more neutral kind of as we go. So notice now he's walking forward. He hasn't thrown a fireball. He hasn't pushed a button. He's walking forward. He's waiting for you to whiff Gladius is pretty much what he's waiting for, right? But again, this is where heavy Gladius is good because here we're going to end up being kind of outside the range of light Gladius, right? Like he would walk out of light Gladius here, but not heavy Gladius. Now that you've hit him with a couple times, okay. Busts out eventually. Good anti-air, good response. Okay, I like the Superman punch. Notice that he kind of likes to throw 2 fireballs back to back. Now we're in trouble. Is there anything we could have done better in the corner? Again, I think you like that a lot. I don't think that necessarily is the default thing to go for, right? This idea of like, okay, I'm going to try to perfect parry your button. You do it a lot. I think you could stand to do it a little bit less. Just a little bit. Good anti-air. That's a little cheeky, a little cheesy. First game, not really much to talk about, right? You kind of bullied him a little bit, and you do end up winning the set, but... So game 2, a little bit different approach from him, but notice again, He's walking forward. What is he not? He's not pushing buttons. Awesome. Yes. One of the things you asked for is, when can I sneak this in? This is exactly when you can sneak this in. When people are looking for just waiting for you to whiff something, notice you walk up. He's not pushing. Why isn't he pushing anything? Because he's waiting for just Gladius. That's all he's looking for. He's looking for Gladius and probably jump, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to whiff punish Gladius. I'm going to DP if they jump at me. He's not ready for you to just walk up a little bit further and hit towards heavy kick into like Gladius. He's not ready for it. That's good. See, now he's like, oh, I got to throw a fireball. And again, now he's not ready for the Superman punch. Good combo. I think we could probably kill here. You maybe think I'm nuts. And maybe we'll take a look at that. Because you do crouch medium punch, drive rush, stand medium punch, into just medium slam. So something I'm going to say is, don't do medium slam or medium Dema in the corner ever. It's the exact same knockdown as medium or light or heavy Gladius. Always do medium Gladius off the medium punch start combo in the corner, because it's the same knockdown, you just get more damage, right? Same advantage. Distance doesn't matter because they're in the corner. So don't end combos with this. But I definitely think you could have killed there. We'll take a look at that maybe. So what did you hit him with, just so I get the counter hit Superman punch, stand medium kick, medium punch, OD Dema. Okay, so let's take a look at that right now. So here's recording. I think I've got the health set up the exact same as it is in the match. That was counter hit Superman punch, and then stand medium punch target combo, OD Dema into that. So I think the damage is exactly the same. I can't remember if this is counter hit or not, but you do this, drop rush cancel into that. You can kill if you have level 1 here, which you did, so whoops. Into level 1, and boom, that's the dead Akuma. Back to the analysis. So keep him in the corner after this. DP's out, that's fine. So it's just advice. I mean, you bait a lot of DPs, but think about, like, before you baited DPs and it's like, okay, started the round, whatever. People love the DP. Like, first round, if like your mix is going to kill him, people love the DP in spots like this. Maybe pay more attention to that. He's got full drive gauge, so in his mind, hey, you know, it's not even that risky because it's not like he's going to burn himself out. But he tries to whiff punish OD Glad and gets bopped. So once again, notice he's playing very patient here. This is where, again, we did it in that first round. That towards heavy kick into like Gladius would be really good. Just do it right there. You see what I'm talking about? He's looking for, like, you haven't given him a reason not to look for jump yet. Right now he's looking for jumping Gladius, jumping Gladius. That's all he's looking for. He hasn't pushed a button. When they're not pushing buttons, that's where walk up 6 HK into like Gladius is exactly what you want to do. Right? Chunks their drive gauge. Okay. Fireball, fireball, that's fine. Whiff punished it. What do we go for Oki here? Nothing. Seeking you baited DP doesn't happen. But it's like, I want you to think about this. There's not a huge incentive for him to DP there. Right? Okay, again, you notice how far away he is? Like, he's so far away, this is never going to hit him. This is what he's looking for. Right? And you give it to him. If somebody's playing at this range against you, that's what they're doing. They're waiting for Gladius. I promise you that's all they're looking for. Well, not all. They're probably looking for a jump or something too. Whatever option you've represented a bunch. Maybe Superman punch, maybe drive rush, whatever. But they're playing that far away. They're looking and waiting for you to whiff a Gladius. So don't give it to them. Right? That's the main thing. Into the safe jump. Notice again, what does he do as soon as he gets out of this block string? What range is he at? He's really far away, right? Walk at him. Walk at him 6 HK. That's what he's waiting for. He's just waiting for that Gladius and probably a jump too. Okay, burned out. Not a ton you can do here. But you definitely, again, you're just giving him what he's looking for when you do that, right? When they're playing at that range where it's, you know, I mean, it's basically that round start range, right? But again, look what he's doing here. He's not pushing anything. Not pushing anything. Drive rush crouch jab. That's fine. He checks it. It's a pretty good reaction by him. Okay. There's the DP. It's a pretty good response. Like it. But you see what I'm talking about? Look where he's playing. He's not pushing anything. Gladius is good because it beats options, right? This guy hasn't thrown fireballs in neutral. This guy has, I mean, really, he hasn't had to play a lot of neutral. You've whiffed Gladius, he's whiff punished it, and he's put you in Oki. And then when he backs up, that's, you know, he backs up after a knockdown, throws fireballs, because he wants to convince you, okay, we're going to play neutral, so you can whiff a Gladius again. When he's playing at this range, just walk forward. Walk at him. Walk at him 6 HK. Look how long he goes without pushing the button here. Okay, throws this fire, like, you knock him down. Okay, 85. Right, I mean, it's only 2 seconds, I guess, but it feels longer, right? Okay, looking for jump. Whiff punish. Like, everything in this game that hit you was whiff punish. Like, every time he hit you, he didn't hit you once. Like, you know, he didn't crack your defense, right? You just got impatient. When they're playing at that range, at that round start, far away range, that's what they're looking for. I promise you that's what they're looking for, right? They're looking for that, and like you said, probably jump or some other slow option, right? So just walk up. That's when you want to hit towards heavy kick. Towards heavy kick Gladius. Towards heavy kick Gladius. Towards heavy kick Gladius. Until, like this happened in the first game, or first round of this game, where they start throwing fireballs again. Then we can start thinking about Gladius, because Gladius is really good against fireballs at that distance, right? Then we can start thinking about Superman Punch and Gladius, and maybe even forward jump if you're feeling really, you know, frisky. But for the most part, just walk him down, hit towards heavy kick, right? Cancel him like Gladius, or drive rush cancel command grab if you want to, you know, jump scare him to really incentivize him that, hey, you should be pushing a button. But Gladius isn't good if they're not pushing anything. It's good because it has armor and a lot of range, right? But it's good because it beats a lot of their aggressive options. If they're not being aggressive, there's no reason to throw it, right? It's doing its job. It's convincing them, hey, don't push, let me play. Don't push buttons, let me play the game, right? So that's what we're trying to do. And if they're not throwing moves, there's no reason to press Gladius, because you've already convinced them that it's unsafe to do so without even having to use Gladius. So that's what I would say. That's where you want to sneak in the towards heavy kicks. Let's watch the last game. Okay, so last game, I like the Superman punch, right? He's not looking for it. Stand heavy kick, good. Throw up buttons, right? Because notice again, he hasn't pushed a regular button yet. He's only thrown fireballs, really. Okay. Good. You see how much better this is going for you? Because what was the only change you made? You started pushing like stand heavy kick and stuff like that. I'm not sure about this Oki, because you're not blocking here. So it's not like you're doing a delayed to try to beat DP or something. So I don't know if you can explain to me what you're looking for with this, but I'm not really sure what that medium punch Oki's for. Because you do this setup, and it's a good setup. And again, do Gladius in the corner, does more damage. But you do the setup where you're whiff and stand jab, but then you never go for the charge back heavy punch, which is sort of the default option here, right? You whip the stand jab because it puts you at plus 17. You charge it back heavy punch, it hits on frame 3. So it counter hits any button they can push, and it hits on frame 3, which means it's outside the regular perfect parry window, which makes it harder to perfect parry. So I'm not sure why you do the setup and then just try to manually time a stand medium punch, which, to be honest, isn't that good as a pressure option. Good anti-air. Keep him in the corner. And this is an okay Gladius, I guess, but notice kind of puts you in that spot. Good check. Bait the DP finally. Don't even need the hard combos. Just press heavy punch. Good. But again, you got a lot more patient in neutral. You didn't really throw at any Gladius randomly. Okay, again, he's still not pushing buttons. Drive rush jab here is not bad, but again, it is something that they can react to. And actually, let's look at this. How many frames is this? So something I'll say, if you want to do faster drive rush, do that input where you do forward parry, right? So you don't hold parry and then mash forward. You hit forward and then parry and forward at the same time. And then instead of your drive rush coming out in, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's like 11, 12 frames of parry. The quickest you can do is 3, right? So this jab would have come out 9 frames faster. Probably would have counter hit him. So forward parry is a lot faster than holding parry and mashing forward. That was just kind of unfortunate that got counter hit. Good, he's going back to fireballs. Okay. I don't mind this because you haven't done it a whole lot, right? He's not used to it. He's like thinking he's playing at the right range, but he's not anymore. Again, that's really good because he can't walk back, right? Like this is a range where the only way he's going to get out of this is jumping because he's in the corner. He can't walk back. So he's like, oh, I'm just going to wait and whiff punish it, but he can't because he's not far enough away, right? Try to go for the throw. Good. Here, I would not be saying let's throw up big buttons. Like there's barely anything. I'm just going to try to check his forward movement at this point, I think, right? Anti-air, and anti-air will kill, right? Obviously, if you DI something, if you perfect parry something, he's going to die. Like, he's in the corner. He's not in a very good spot. Just kind of wait for him to do something stupid. Check the drive rush, whatever, right? I definitely don't think that I would throw out this gigantic heavy kick. Or that's the other thing you could do, right? Is just back up. And then finish with the riskiest thing in the world. I don't think you're dead if he blocks that, but it's not looking good. But you did make adaptations, and I think that's why you ended up winning this game, right? Was you stopped throwing Gladius nearly as much in the neutral, and that's really what you want to do. Now, where you're using stand heavy kick when they're playing back, that's where I would use towards heavy kick. In spots like that, pretty much the same speed. 6HK is a little faster, has a little less range, so you have to walk forward a little bit more, so they end up taking about the same amount of time. But that's what you want to do. You just need to recognize, okay, they're playing at this specific range. They're not pushing buttons. Ding, 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 ding. Hit towards heavy kick, right? That's the idea. Anyway, hopefully this is helpful. And as always, have a good time.